Finally got Kurt Holobaugh back here in the program. JZ Cavalcante is his opponent coming up here for Titan. This one's a championship bout, right?
Yes, it is going to be for the interim lightweight championship.
Now, why interim?
I'm guessing Freddie Asuncao, who currently holds the championship right now. He was a 45er that the Titan FC just brought up, I think, just to make a good matchup and in that division. Being, I guess, the division was running low, I wasn't fighting at the time. So, they made that matchup between JZ Cavalcante, who was the current champion, and Freddie Asuncao, who was a 145 contender, who was probably the number one contender for Andre Harrison's title. But I think Andre Harrison was off the shelf and wasn't defending the title at the moment. They wanted to make a match. They made the match. Freddie Asuncao won. And I think he's going to go back to featherweight. And so I do think this is the interim championship, but I do think it'll be also the permanent champion.
So I was going to ask you how you feel about interim championships. I have this weird thing with them where I get it when an athlete is hurt, he didn't lose, or he's not in trouble, he didn't get stripped, he's just injured, and it's been over a year, then you have to have an interim championship until the champ gets better. But when a champ just wants to go back down to a weight class or just doesn't want to fight or was off doing something else, I kind of like, why have the interim? Just strip him. Just get rid of it, make it the bout. Because when I read it, I kind of thought this was the championship, and then I saw that Freddie Asuncao was the champion. I was like, I don't understand what's an interim. I mean, do you like interim championships, or does it really not matter?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And who knows? Who's to say Freddie Asuncao doesn't, or me and Freddie don't fight if I was to win this bout here. So we don't know right now. We're just going to take this fight one fight at a time, and hopefully pick this victory up over JZ and become the interim champion. And then we'll decide where we go from there.
There's I have said in the past that some athletes are really hard to deal with. There's been reports out, Brian Stan talking about other athletes too, that they're just difficult to deal with for promotions to get them into fights and stuff. But you've never had that reputation. You've always been kind of one of those, hey, you're fighting X person. Okay, well, X person fell out. Here's Y person. Okay. You don't really think about yeses or nos. You just kind of, if they give you an opponent, you take it, and that's the end of it. Was there some thought consideration when they said, hey, we want you to fight for the interim title and it's going to be JZ, or did you say yes before you even knew what it really was about?
Well, ultimately I did want the champion. I wanted Freddie. He's the actual champion. He beat JZ. So that's the real fight I wanted. And, they've offered me JZ before in the past for probably the last two shows. But, if I didn't want to fight a guy like JZ for nothing. I wanted to be a championship. I wanted to be a headline. I wanted to be something that really means more than just a fight. And, now I think that's what they kind of threw on us now. And, we got that fight.
So you guys are the co-main event. Again, with Farkat Sharpov at 17-7 and Shorty Jose Torres is the main event at 4-0. I mean, obviously he's coming along pretty quickly. At 4-0, he's a big name that everyone's talking about, kind of being the next coming or whatever of the next generation type of fighter. At 16-4, you don't slouch yourself. Do you feel a little offset that they're putting that fight ahead of yours, even though yours is just an interim title, but it's really a title fight?
Yeah, maybe so. I'm the type of guy that, I always want the spotlight. I want to be number one. I don't do this for no reason. So, I wanted the headline. I wanted to be Holobaugh versus Cavalcante. That's what I wanted. But, sometimes you got to take what you can get. And, we're still a co-main event. It's a big promotion. It's live on UFC Fight Pass. So, everybody's going to get to see. Everybody's going to get to see the great fight me and JZ's going to put on. And, yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I actually keep up with my subscription on Fight Pass, is because you do end up getting, about once a week, you end up getting these great matchups, these fights that deserve to be on regular television, but just haven't quite made it to the big promotion yet. You beat JZ, then let's say you beat Freddie, right? Now you're the undisputed champ. You've combined the belts. Who's left in the division really for you to battle?
Nobody. I think with a win over JZ that I should head back to the UFC. I had one fight in the UFC, and it was a great fight. Of course, I could have come out with the win. I could have done better. But, I never got a chance to go back and prove that. And I've even come out of the promotion, went on long win streaks, won world titles with Titan. Still really didn't get the call back. But I really felt like the last two fights, I fought really high caliber opponents. This fight, I'm fighting an extremely high caliber opponent. So I really think there's no reason that I don't get brought back.
This is your fourth fight or fifth fight with Titan throughout your career?
I want to say it's the eighth.
Okay, eighth fight. Oh, is that matting? Jeez, yeah, you've been with them for a long time. And a lot of people don't even realize that they know you more from Titan, obviously, because you've had so many more fights with them. It was Steven Seller. Was that who you fought?
Yeah, I
in
fought
the UFC.
Steven Seller, 159.
Yeah, UFC 159. So it's been a long time, and you have been on these really good win streaks. Has there just never been a conversation, to your knowledge? I mean, do you have a manager, or do you do everything yourself?
No, I have a manager. I'm managed by Sucker Punch Entertainment. I actually just signed with these guys probably a little less than a year ago. They actually made my last fight, I think it was Titan FC 42 against Yadin Sedania. So, I mean, ever since then, things have been good. I think we've almost got the call for the UFC a couple times since then. But I'm not going to sit around and wait. I'm going to keep moving forward, and that's why I'm thinking a good victory over JZ will do it.
You are one of those positions, especially being at 16-4, that you do need to have a good manager that has contacts, that has the ability. Obviously, Brian Butler over at Sucker Punch. I mean, he's one of my good friends, and he's got the ins with every major organization throughout the MMA world, so to speak. And it does make a big difference. I mean, you were, as you said, you were kind of struggling trying to get back in, even though you're on these great win streaks. Now, when you sign with a management company like that, it's going to work. There's a few managers out there that I trust and that I like fighters with. He just happens to be one of them. Sucker Punch Entertainment just happens to be one of them. I didn't realize that you had signed with him, so I didn't know that you were one of Brian's guys. But I want to ask you about this training camp, because it seems like you're 4 fights ago, Andre Harrison, you lost unanimous decision. 3 fights ago, Kabulov, you lost a decision. Then you kind of made a switch with Santos. You changed some stuff up a little bit, and it seemed to be working. Plus, you did some more with Sedeno. What did you change up in your fight camps? Because there was a pretty big difference between 3 fights ago and 2 fights ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And the difference is that I'm not cutting that large amount of weight. I went from featherweight back to lightweight, and just inside the gym, I felt incredible. My training schedule doesn't revolve around weight cutting, and I'm not thinking the whole training camp how much weight I got to cut. Right now, I just kind of been on a steady diet and just training just like I always have, and it just helps out so much being able to have more energy in the gym to train. It also makes it funner to train, funner to fight. When you're not killing yourself to make weight.
So, typically speaking, week of, you're fully hydrated. How much weight are you going to have to cut the week of the fight?
I was 160 pounds last night after I got home from the gym. So, look, we're looking at 5 pounds right there. And honestly, I could have probably cut the 5 pounds after the gym if I really wanted to, if I had to. I woke up this morning around 164, but, I had a good, healthy meal last night, probably between last night and this morning so far, almost a gallon of water back in my body. So, I'm feeling good. Just working out some soreness that's still in there from this hard training camp. This whole past week, I think I've done 2 a days. So, I've really put in a lot of hard work for this fight.
Now, like I said, you've made a huge difference over your last 3 fights in improvement. And there's a little bit more in there than just stop cutting weight. There's some other stuff that goes on, too, that you're getting the right food, you're able to get a lot more water, you're able to have a little bit more energy, so your practices are better, like it all kind of snowballs together. Do you think JZ has changed much in his last 4 or 5 fights?
I don't think so. JZ's been around for a long time. Everybody in the MMA world knows who JZ Cavalcante is. Great fighter. He's been fighting the best in the world for years now. He's been fighting way longer than I have. And has a lot of fights. But, once you get to a certain point, I don't think you're going to change very much. I think I'm experienced now, but I still think the sky's the limit. I still got so much to learn. And for the past couple of years, I have been working with a different striking coach. It's really slowly been, getting me where I need to be in the stand-up game. And you can definitely see it in the last 2 fights. And, his name's actually Jimmy Mills, and he don't even live by me. I'm actually heading out here in a couple hours, heading down to Fort City, Alabama, and going to spend a few days with him down there.
That's
get some work in.
My geography's bad, but that's like 2.5 hours from you, isn't it?
Almost 3.
Jeez, that's a long way to drive just to hit some mitts and get a couple sparring sessions in.
I'll probably come back tomorrow evening sometime, so I'm gonna go get tonight's session in, and probably in the morning, and then head back. And then I have been flying Jimmy out with me. And for those that doesn't know who Jimmy Mills is, he used to live in Holland with Alistar Overeem and train with all those guys back in the day. So the dude's stand-up knowledge is incredible. And ever since I've been working with him, everything's been great.
Is he from Alabama originally?
I believe so. I think he is from Alabama.
Because I knew him when he was over in Holland, and I didn't think that I thought he was I thought he was a West Coast guy. I didn't realize that he's a Southern kid.
I'm pretty sure that.
Don't hold me on it, but I'm pretty sure he's from.
But it's just a strange spot to be over in Holland, training with Alistar Overeem and Tom Tops and that whole group, and then all of a sudden be in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really think of it like he's going to go East Coast and go Jersey or Long Island, or he's going to go West Coast and go LA or San Diego. You're like, he's in Alabama. Like it's just like a weird concept to think the guy, that high level striking coach, just shows up in Alabama.
Yeah. So, I guess just, he, back in the day, just doing what he needed to do to train. I know he was taking fights overseas, and I'm sure that's how he got connected with, those guys over there when he started training. And, ever since I've been working with him, I first started working with him on the Desmond Green fight because that fight was in Alabama. And my jiu-jitsu coach, Rafael Elwanger, and Jimmy used to be good friends back in the day. So when we had that fight in Alabama, we called Jimmy up and asked Jimmy if we can come down and, use his gym, get some work in for the week. So we actually left a little bit early. So I think that was a huge help in the victory over Desmond Green. It's just being over there and being able to work with him and some of the things that he was showing me and game planning for me. So now with, world champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Rafael and Jimmy, I got some really great coaches.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great group of guys that you have. Kurt, let's one last question before you get out of here.
Okay.
The day before weigh-ins, you said you're going to cut about 5 pounds, so it's obviously different than it used to be for you in the past. We were literally having to go, okay, I can't eat all day, and I got to go jump in the sauna. So take me through a day now. What's the difference between when you were cutting weight and had to cut weight hard on that and to make weight the day before making weight, as opposed to how it is now? What do you do in the day of?
The night before weigh-ins, I might have, a little something small to eat. Nothing that's going to, lay on my stomach or anything like that. And I still won't drink much water after noon the day before weigh-ins. Now, the difference is, I'm really feeling it at, if I'm trying to cut to 145 pounds, my body is already really feeling it. I barely have any energy at all to get up, walk around. Now, when I'm going lightweight, everything's just different. More energy. I can snack on a few things here and there, and I don't have to worry about in my mind how hard this weight cut's going to be. I'll hit the jump rope the morning of weigh-ins. I hit a couple rounds of jump rope and get a good sweat going, and maybe hit a sauna or a hot Epsom salt bath, and I'm on weight. Cutting to 145 pounds the night before weigh-ins. I'm in a sauna trying to cut off around 5 pounds, and then I probably got another 5 pounds to be the day of weigh-in.
Oh wow! Okay.
Bro.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it's percentage of body weight, and when you're trying to make 145, that's a lot bigger percentage than when you're trying to make 205. So like for the comparison for the folks at home, that's a huge amount of a percentage of body weight. It is difficult, and yeah, I like you better at 55. Obviously, your record shows you're better at 55. You're a better athlete all the way around, and to be honest, your interviews aren't as grumpy. When you had to make 45, and you knew that you had to make 45, you were a complete dick when you'd have to be interviewed. Just because
I don't notice, everybody else notices.
Yeah. I mean, you were just hungry and pissed off and sore. You couldn't recover from the practices. Like, it just built up on you. Now you're kind of like, everything's fine. It's like a normal, it's like talking to you. It's like talking to you 2 weeks after a fight.
You know, for the last fight, whenever I fought Dennis, you know, just throughout the week, you know, we was hitting some of the great restaurants down there in Miami. And, you know, I also had some good tuna steaks, some, you know, little light salads, but I never once felt like I was dying or having to cut a ton of weight. So just getting that pressure of the weight cut off my back, it's like you already won in the fight right there.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's a big difference. And like I said, it shows in your fights. It really does. So, Kurt, thanks so much. I know you got a long drive ahead of you, so I'll get you out of here. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Glad things are going so well, and I am super excited that you signed up with Sucker Punch. That can be a game changer for a guy of your stature, where all of a sudden you're not quite getting back in. They can all of a sudden get you slid back in if the right opportunity arises.
Definitely, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. There's a great bunch of guys over there, man. So far, they've taken excellent care of me.
Take care, Kurt. Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll talk later.